All right, let's talk about a clarinet fingering chart and how to read it. A clarinet fingering chart is going to show you a diagram of where your fingers can go, and it's going to tell you which fingers to push down in order to play certain notes. So, in order to show you guys that, I have my clarinet here. I'm going to show you some things on that, and I'm connected to something I can draw on. So, the first thing you're going to see on a clarinet fingering chart is that little thing right there. And that represents this key right here called the register key. That's the register key. It's called something different. On saxophones, it's called an octave key, but on clarinet, it's called the register key. And it's that little teardrop shaped thing right there. Okay, and then right below that, you're going to see a circle. And that represents this right here, right? Where your left thumb goes. That shows where your left thumb goes. Okay, the next thing you might see is just another empty circle. Sometimes it'll be filled in, sometimes it'll be empty there. And that represent, if I go to the other side of this clarinet, this first finger hole right there. So on the fingering chart, they can't show you that it's the back of the clarinet, so they showed you next to the clarinet on the other side of it. So we got that first finger hole right there. This next finger hole is just going to be right under that. And then the third hole right here with no ring around it is just going to be another one right under that. Now, oftentimes right here, you're going to see on the fingering chart a little space, and that kind of represents the space between where your left and your right hand are going to be. So there's going to be another circle a little further down, and that would be this finger right here. Okay, and the space represents, like, the distance, it's a different hand. Okay, sometimes you might see a line like that, but not all the time. Then there's going to be another hole for your second finger right there, and a third hole on your right hand for that third finger, just like that. Okay, now the next thing, sometimes you'll just see those, and they won't have all these extra things on there. But if you're going to use any of your pinky keys down here, or these keys right here, or any of these side keys, then they'll include some of those. So let's draw those right now. First, your right hand pinky keys, you might see little kind of sideways ovals like that. Okay, and that would represent these keys down here. There's 4 of them. Okay, 4 of them. 3, 4, right there. I call these ones upstairs. I call these downstairs. And different teachers have different names for all the different pinky things. So whatever teacher you might have might label them differently. But those represent those right hand bottom pinky keys. Okay. The next thing you might see are some things over here. There's one right there. And that would represent this key right under your third finger on your left hand. Okay, just like it's, and that's what it shows on the diagram. Okay, and then you might see one that's kind of a long one like this. Okay, and I'm going to draw it a little better. It might look more like that. Okay, that represents this key, this pinky key right there. Kind of the long one. You can see I tried to draw the shape of it. It didn't do so well. But you might see those on there. Okay, you'll see another one that kind of looks like this. Kind of sticks out there. And that would be this key right here. That pinky key. And I bet you can guess the next one. It kind of looks like that. And that would be this key right here. Okay, and then that's almost all of them. Okay, there's a few more. There's these side keys right here. 1, 2. They're tiny little ovals that are sideways, and that represents these little side keys right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the very last one, which I probably should have put earlier, but I didn't, is you'll sometimes see another teardrop shaped one right at the top above your first finger, and that is this key. And this key right here. It's that one. When you play that key, you're just kind of going to use your knuckle. Okay, and I said it would be the last one, but I was wrong because I didn't show you correctly. And the last one you might see, it would be maybe another teardrop one shaped right there, kind of next to that one. And that's this one right here. And it might show it the same size as the other one, or they might make it longer because it actually is longer on your clarinet. And I lied again. There are some more, and these are ones that aren't very typical, but you might see this little thing right here, right? That you might see as a little sliver right in between some of those. And then there's another one of those in between your second and third finger on your right hand too. So you might see that there like that. And wow, look how many buttons are on the clarinet. Look how many places our fingers can go. That's huge. That's pretty massive. Lots of different keys. But again, the main ones you'll see are this one, which is the register key, the thumb, your left hand, first three fingers, a little space, and the next three fingers. So I'll put a little squiggly line here to show you kind of the difference. Most of the time you'll see the one that's on your right, but the one on the left with all the extra keys just show the extra options that as you get better and better and you learn more not challenging, but just different notes, you'll need to have different keys that are used. So that is how to read. Those are all the things on the fingering chart, the different spots for your fingers. The way to read it is if it's an empty circle, the finger's up, and if it's a closed circle or if it's filled in, that means that you push your finger down. So let's do another one right here. Okay, let's say we had that register key, your thumb key, and the first three, and so your left hand, and then your right hand. And I'm going to fill in the thumb, the first finger, the second finger, and the third finger. If you saw that, that would be the note on clarinet C. That's the note C. And it would look like this. I'd cover up the thumb with my thumb, and I'd go 1, 2, 3. I'd cover up those three fingers. Okay? Let's say I only had 2 fingers covered up. That would be right here. And I wouldn't pull my finger back like this. I'd just let it hover. But that would be my thumb, my first finger, and my second finger. If I eliminated that dot right there, it would be just my thumb and my first finger. And those are actually the first 3 notes we'll learn. Right? C, D, which would have that filled in, and E, which would just be your thumb and your first finger. And when I'm playing that, my fingers hover like that. So that's how you read a fingering chart. All right?